How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. Great to see you.
Likewise.
It's freezing.
You cold?
Yeah.
I'm in the office over the garage, and it's normally about 10 degrees in the morning. It heats up to about 16 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold.
That's -3 in Texas. So are the pubs closed?
Yeah. That was my New Year's resolution, actually, not to go to a pub in January because they're closed. It's an easy one to keep.
Yes. And how the family doing? All the kids good?
Yeah. They want to get back to school. You know, they miss their friends and things like that. But they do see a little bit of them. You know, they go to the childminder still. She's still accepting them, so which is good. So they go there a couple of times a week, and the neighbours are friends of theirs, so they get to play outside and play a bit of soccer and things like that. So yeah,
brilliant.
Not too bad. Yeah. But they do, yeah. It's they used to have loads of, so their social lives were far better than my social life ever was. So.
Can you imagine a day that you and I going to Sallylogan ever said, "Yeah, I can't wait to get back to school"? Can you remember? The only time I can remember saying that is when we were smoking out the back and it started raining. I said, "I can't wait to get back to school."
I suppose they're still young. They haven't got to secondary school yet. So my eldest is only 9.
Yeah.
No, the primary school is a doddle, you know. And that's like he's good in school, so he doesn't get into any trouble at all. So he loves going.
Wait, send him over. Send him over.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Now the middle guy is a bit different now, but you know.
Yeah.
Balances out.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the middle guy, and then we've got never met Romy. I don't know if Claire was pregnant maybe at the time.
That's right.
The girl, she's 5 now.
No. Here we go. There's Eric. Eric, this is Mark.
Eric,
Mark.
hey, thanks.
How are you? I like your shirt.
Oh yeah, I've got a collection here somewhere. I was digging them out. I have a whole collection of t-shirts. Well, I'm only missing one of the world tours.
We'll fix that.
Excellent. Yeah.
We'll fix that. So you're very welcome. So Eric, Mark Kavanagh is a childhood friend of mine, meaning I never grew up, but we went to school together. We've known each other since, didn't we meet in Wyatteville Park when you?
I think I was still there, yeah. So you were in, when we were about 13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of age, I think.
About 10 years if you do the math. That's Harkin math right there.
Are they like dog years where there's all 7 years or something like that?
Yeah.
The opposite of dog years.
Yeah. God years. So welcome, man. Good to have you. This is probably going to be a 2-parter because we're going to get Flint, your business partner, in on the next one. But what I thought we'd do on this one is we'll just introduce you to the lads. Of course, you've never met Eric before. You've met Chad a few times. And introduce you to the lads. And then, we'll get Flint on again and we'll talk about the Catch My Carbon project, which I'm ecstatic about. I think we should rip off Mark's idea over here and not tell him. Just keep it our secret.
No problem. We can franchise it. That's no problem. It's a very, very cheap. Yeah.
There you go.
One of these is fine.
Yeah.
That's not going to cost you.
What are you drinking?
What is that? Yeah.
Actually, I'm drinking this because this is one of our business partners. It's a brewery called Third Barrel, or this is actually Stone Barrel. They have a couple of different breweries or a couple of different names, but this one's a Boom IPA, and they just have cool cans, but they're offsetting all their carbon with us. So there's another brewery. It says that the first carbon neutral brewery in Ireland, but they only announced that last month, and we've been doing this with these guys for a year. So, we might go legal on them, or just embarrass them in Facebook, something like that.
There you go. I can do that. I can send them a picture.
Yeah. We showed them the trees we planted.
Yeah. So Eric, Mark's a drummer as well. Have you got your kit hand yet? See?
Yeah. That's all I have of my kit now. I have to wait to buy the rest.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Yeah. And I bought the Aero drums. I don't know if you've seen them. It's a virtual.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
First real drum kit. Basically the drumsticks have two little white things on the end of them, and it picks up the drums as you're playing, and you can play on the computer. But it's a bit tricky to set up, and I don't think it. And, the reviews are pretty good from real drummers, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a good place to start.
Have you played them, Eric?
I think they're a British company, right?
I don't know. I thought they were US actually, but maybe, yeah, it could be British.
I think they're from across the way. Well, it's British, you can trust it as far as you can throw it, probably.
Just check the spelling. That's how I would.
Yeah, I think it's AERO, I think is what it is. They make a drum notation software too, which I almost bought, but I didn't. So there you go.
So how long have you been playing?
It's a good start though. How long have I been playing? Too long. Way too long. Long enough to know that it's time to retire. I started when I was about 10 years old, so it's been about 40 years or so. So been a good long while. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
What do you do with the things? I mean,
yeah, my parents remember where I lived in Dalkey. We lived across the road from Brian Downey, and I could have got lessons from Brian Downey. My parents wouldn't buy me a drum kit. We just didn't have the room in the house.
All the houses are tiny.
Yeah,
tingy. Yeah, but Brian Downey across the street, Brian Downey, Thin Lizzy. I think we should tag this. I think everybody's warmed up a little bit. We see. So, Eric, do you have a question for Chad?
Hey, Chad, what episode is this?
This is episode number 102 of SlapperCast. And our guest today is Mark Kavanagh, all the way over in Ireland.
So, yeah, Mark Kavanagh, and he's in Westport, Ireland, which is probably the most sought after place to live in the whole country. One of our tourists drove there before. We stopped for an afternoon there. Just gorgeous town. It looks like a little Lego town. When you go up to the top of the hill, you look down. It's beautiful. It's just so well kept, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's just great spot. So, how long have you been over in Westport, Mark?
6 years, and we moved over here a couple of years after maybe the town was voted the best place to live in Ireland, and it's never won it since. I don't know why. That's just a coincidence, maybe. But it is. They ran that competition once, and they didn't run it again. So it's the best place to live in Ireland. Has been for 6 years running.
I'll take that.
Cool.
Yeah. When I was there, I think there was a sign or somebody told us about that. Somebody in Dublin told us about that. Yeah. I think
it's on the way coming to Westport. Yeah. Big sign. We're very proud of it, and it's a great place to live. Perfect size for everything. Is 5 minutes away, and it's got more pubs than shops. So, great place.
Cool.
I'll take that. What's your local in Westport?
It's a non-touristy one. It's called Toby's, and it's literally is someone's living room converted into a pub.
Wow.
Wow. Do you have to? Is it a speakeasy? Do you have to have a secret knock?
Oh no! It's well known. It's bright yellow, but it's in a row of terraced houses. In the middle is they've converted one of the houses into a pub. Like, it's been there years and years, so it's well known. But it's it's still got the same layout. You go down the back, and which would have been the toilet is still the toilet in the house is still the toilet in the pub.
Wow! Would they let Chad in, or is he too young?
Who?
Chad, bald guy.
Oh yeah, no, very welcoming. Although the piano player does stop, and the bartender does start putting his glasses away if any strangers come in. So,
yeah. So, Eric, did you spend time in Westport when you were over?
I think we just drove through it.
Let's cut that part out, Chad.
I don't think we stopped. Because I lived with my dad, and my dad had I'd mentioned this before. He had a very strict agenda. Yeah. We're going here now, and now we're going here now. There's no stopping in between. So it was a challenge. It was a great trip with my dad. He turned 80 and I turned 50 in the same year. So we decided to go to Ireland for about 10 days. But he was very, we're doing this.
It's a pity because it's a real music town. There's Matt Malloy's is a famous pub, which the owner is a member of the Chieftains, or was a member of the Chieftains, famous Irish band. So they have music every single night. So that's a good draw for tourists, because you can always get Irish music every night of the week.
We had every corner but Cork County, I think. So, and we drove. I drove all over that fucking country like a lunatic. It was ridiculous. But had a good time. I can't wait to go back. Hopefully this year we get to. Knock on wood, we get to go back. Yeah.
So I spoke to Mark last week about coming. Actually, this week. It's still this week.
Yeah.
To him about coming on, and so I don't know if it would happen this year, but next year, since we can definitely route through Westport. So it'd be brilliant to take the crew there, because I know last time people were just gobsmacked. They got off the bus just looking around. Like I said, it's like a movie set. But
the history of Westport. The old English landlords had their house looking out over the sea, but the original Westport village was blocking their view. So they literally raised the village and moved them. So they designed a new town and moved everyone behind the house so they could get a better view of Croagh Patrick and the sea. So that's why it's one of the nicer towns in Ireland. Most towns in Ireland are pretty ugly because they were organically grown or whatever, but this one was actually planned and built on a nice grid system.
Wow.
Not a San Francisco grid. It's still triangles and shortcuts and things like that. So.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Of course I knew that because I know the history of Ireland. So yeah, thanks for telling the lads.
Yeah.
But like I said, Mark and I went to school together. We got into quite a bit of trouble, I'd say. We had some great, and Mark, thank you for the photographs too. He had scanned in some old shots, which I swear to God, they're not me. That's not us.
Well, I pull out some of them. I've got some of them here.
Yes. No.
There might be oh no, I don't know. Oh yeah, here's one from the Debs. Actually, this is a good one.
So the Debs
is your graduation ball from secondary school. So you would have been about 18, I think. If you can see that. Was it Johanna or Joanne?
Joanne Kelly, yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you photoshopped that cigarette in there. I didn't smoke, did I?
No, definitely not. Or drink.
I thought you were making gang signs in there or something like that with that.
No, we did that. We did that in Washington D.C. yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But so Mark and I, like I said, we go way back, and Mark is I have to say it now because he's bigger than me, but he had we've always stayed in touch, and Mark's been over how many times? About 8 times maybe, to different parts of the country.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I've been over, because my brother lives in California, and so it was always a great trip to go to Texas, California, or even up to New York to see other friends as well over there. So always had great excuses, always made it down to Texas as well. Fantastic.
Yeah. Did you like Texas?
Yeah, I did really like Texas. I remember the first time I went, I was only maybe 24, something like that. I don't know what age you went over there. You were early 20s as well, weren't you?
Oh, I was 17 when I came over.
Were you that young? Okay.
No. You see, I've been lying so much about my age. I'm 26.
You were in. I know you were in Boston for a couple of years.
87. Maybe. I came over in 87. So whatever.
A long time ago. I can't remember. And we went to. You were working in a bar. I can't remember the bar. The Aviator, was it? Aviator.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Aviators.
Yeah, Aviators. And I arrived, and I was pretty naive and young at the time. And Ireland was still a very Catholic country. You couldn't even buy condoms when I was in college. It was that backwards.
We used to have to make our own, remember?
Yeah, yes. Well, we had no chance of even using them, but hey. But I arrived in Aviators, and the bar owner said, "Oh yeah, come with me. We'll go out for a drink, in the afternoon, like 2:00 in the afternoon or something." So we went to this place called the Trophy Club in the middle of a shopping center. And I just thought we were going out for a drink, and we arrived in. There's about 25 supermodels lounging around and waiting for us to arrive. It turned out to be a very nice ladies or gentlemen's club, I should say.
Gentlemen's club full of ladies. The Trophy, yeah, I remember that.
Bob, friendly ladies, and Bob it was Bob, wasn't it?
It was Bob. I talked to him this morning. He'll be very happy.
He knew all of them by name, and I didn't take $1 out of my pocket all night. So
yeah, that's going back a ways. Yeah, that was about my fourth bartending gig in Houston by that time, and it was a brilliant club, Aviators on the north side, and then you see, yeah. So obviously, Mark and I did a lot of run around in school, and we kept in touch. We were just over. Mark lived just over Killiney Hill from in that beautiful little town called Dalkey. So, and of course, I'm on the other side on the beach in Killiney, and so we had a same musical tastes, the same friends, obviously school and whatnot, and the surrounding areas. And your father he was an electrician.
Yeah, still is. Still working away.
Yeah, that's right. You said he's still going. He has to.
If he wasn't working, he'd be sitting at home annoying my mother. So.
So she kicks him up and gets him out. Yeah, Tommy and Mary Kavanagh. Make sure you tell them I said hello.
Yeah.
So Chad, when was the first time you met Mark?
I was trying to remember that. I have a vague memory of. I know I've seen you in a bunch of different places because I think obviously last time we saw you was in Bundoran a year and a half ago. But I think didn't you come to see us at Brian O'Neill's in Houston back in the day? I know that. I think it was a Houston club.
Yeah, I've definitely seen you guys in Houston play. I've also seen you in Philadelphia for St. Patrick's Day.
There you go. That might have been the first time, actually. I'm thinking about that now. Maybe one of those.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Right? That was 15 years ago or so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Mark was great about making his trips, and he'd always make a pilgrimage to where we were at, and see it. It was just brilliant. Like I said, we delighted that we stayed in touch and whatnot. Mm. So obviously, hopefully now you get to meet Eric this year, and I'm trying to think, just a million, all these thoughts, all these shows that we went to, all these people that we met, and well, I do want to say, so we were talking earlier about this is going to be a 2-part thing, because I do want to talk about Catch My Carbon, which I think is brilliant. I think it's just how long have you been doing this?
So I'll give you the elevator pitch. We started in November 2019. So Flint, my business partner, pitched the idea to me when we were having a pint in Westport. And basically, he wanted to reforest Ireland, which was his opening statement, and with native Irish trees. And that's a great idea. And so then we said, "Oh, how will we do this?" And he said, "Well, basically, he has some land, a little bit of land in Galway. And if we get more people who have parcels of land around the place who want to reforest, we get them interested, and we pitch to companies to try and offset their carbon emissions. And we calculate the carbon emissions, based on their electricity use and heating, etc., travel, transport, everything. And we tell them how many trees they need to plant every year in order to offset their carbon and make themselves either carbon neutral or approaching carbon neutral. And some of them are actually going carbon negative, which is fantastic.
Wow.
And so they pay us to plant the trees, which is actually quite cheap. You can buy a basic tree for about €2-3. But the great benefit they get from us is that we do a media campaign and social media campaign and give them all the artwork. And we're being currently audited as well to get our process accredited. So that would be fantastic for companies as well to be able to stick that on their logos, their website. This crowd here actually who are doing the beer, they want to put our logo on their cans. So once we've got the audit complete, they're going to do that. So that's going to be fantastic for us and for them. And that's one part of it. So we get businesses who want to offset their carbon. And the other way we do get business as well is through travel companies who are selling travel packages or flights or things like that. And they want to put us on their checkout so people can check it, tick a box to say they want to offset the carbon from this trip. And we will plant the number of trees required for whatever trip they're doing. So if they're flying return to London, it's about 2 oak trees. If they're flying to Australia, it's probably about 10 or 11 oak trees, so things like that. And we do a mix of trees, try and improve biodiversity as well. But the main goal is to plant permanent forests of native Irish trees because we want to reforest. There's so little. I think there's only 5% of the original Irish forests are left. And there's a lot of plantations of new forestry for timber, which is needed, for industry. But it's not great for biodiversity, and it's a kind of a big impact on the environment where they are. If you plant, 100 acres or 10,000 acres of fir trees, it kind of destroys the natural environment in that area. It's just monoculture. Nothing lives in a fir forest, really. It's very, sterile environment.
Yeah.
So we really put in a much more vibrant, biodiverse forest. And we started small. COVID hit us really hard because the travel companies just stopped, selling travel, and so they kind of disappeared. They're going to come back. And we had one big global surf company and one big cruise company who were just about to sign up with us in February, and then they just said, "Listen, we're getting cancellations. Bookings are being cancelled left, right, and centre. So we're going to put this on." So we hope they come back. But we got insurance companies, we got breweries, we've got fishing companies, we got people like that, working with us to offset their carbon. So it's brilliant, I think, and it's a great day out. Planting a few trees if you got a nice day.
I was going to ask you about that. So who physically does the labor?
We do. So at the moment we're small enough that we can do it. We can plant about 200 trees in a day. We've got a good technique now to plant saplings, and we can throw them in very quickly, and we're only going to get better with that. But as we get bigger, we'll probably subcontract the work out.
Yeah. And this isn't your main gig. This is you and Flint came up with this as a side project, right? So you're still working?
Oh yeah, no, I have a full-time job, working in a medical device company, and Flint is working for Irish Water. So we're both flat out with work, and this is a weekend evening kind of gig. So we do the marketing and website work in the evenings over a couple of these, and then we go out at the weekends and plant a few trees.
That's brilliant.
It's great. The interest is unbelievable. It's just getting individuals to part with money is difficult. Companies, it's a win-win for companies. It's not that expensive, and they great PR. Individuals, it's a bit more difficult, a little bit more work. We have had quite a lot of interest and a lot of individual trees planted. People buy them for presents and things like that. But it's not going to be our main source of income. Yeah. But it's not. We're not really doing it for money either. It's an altruistic. We're always going to break even, maybe if we get a little bit of profit out of it. But generally, I say at the moment.
You hear that, lads? They're not doing it for money, huh? That's the way. You should have been a musician.
Yeah, well, you guys have been hit hard this year or in last year.
Not Eric. Eric doesn't even know where he is right now.
It's water.
Well, come on.
It's not 3:00 yet. After 3:00, all bets are off.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And Eric, you joined the band probably just at the start of COVID, did you?
Right at the perfect time to really make a full career change and really kind of jump off this thing correctly. Yeah, basically it's kind of the tail end of January of last year, and none of us had a clue as to what was going on. And then about February, we started to hear a little bit of rumbling, and then by St. Patrick's Day, it was the plug got pulled for all of us, not just us, all of our friends, every person that we know just went, we're done. So, and here we are.
Mark, give me the name of the brewery again that you're working with. The Catch Carbon is working with.
So it's Third Circle, a Third Barrel. They have so many different names. It's a Third Circle Stone Barrel. Yeah, Stone Barrel Brewing is this can, but they have a Third Circle as well. But they have some cool logos and cool cans.
Yeah, I love that. I love that logo. Yeah, so we need to plan a tour to the breweries as well when we go over. So anybody that's working at Mark Carbon, they need to work on their security too when we come through.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so the company, it's going great. We're doing a lot of work on Facebook and social media, so we learned a lot. And we're the next phase really is to try and get into bigger planting. Working with bigger companies, and that's when you have to start working with subcontractors and doing environmental assessments. And at the moment, we're small enough that we can get by without the licensing, which is a big cost. If you want to get if you want to chop down anything more than half an acre or plant it more than half an acre, you need a license. And that's when you have to get environmental impact statements and all the other red tape that goes with that. So at the moment, we're happy. We're quite small. And once we get bigger, I suppose we can think about it. But really, myself and Flint are both happy enough to keep going at this pace. You know, we're making a difference. We planted 500 trees this year. We plan to plant double that in 2021 and double it every year. So, you know, as we grow, we'll hopefully be able to take on more people. We have got a consultant working with us, a horticulturist, and we've got a guy who's working for free doing the audit. So an independent guy came in and he's quite happy to do the audit because he just loves what we're doing. So he's just auditing the whole process. And unfortunately, he can't go to the sites to look at the trees at the moment. But once he does that, we'll have a certification, which is fantastic.
Is there any kind of tax break that the companies can get or the individuals can get?
Well, they can't for what we're doing at the moment, no, because they just get free trees. So the landowners get free trees, and the companies, well, it's basically it's a write-off against tax. So if they spend a couple of grand on trees, they don't pay any tax on that. But there is, when we get bigger, once you think you go above 30 acres or something like that, you can get government grants as well, which will help you maintain the forests. And then you can also get a payment every year. You get an initial grant to kind of put fencing in, things like that. And it is a bit of an income. I think that it works out about 15% return on your investment, something like that. It's not bad, but if you're putting in permanent forests like we want to do, you don't get that payday in 15, 20 years when you cut the trees down and sell them off. So the grants are actually a lot better. You get a lot more money income, but you know after 15 years, then you have to keep the forest. You're not allowed to chop it down and sell it for firewood.
So the floodgates open up right when the lockdown's over. Are you going anywhere? You're gonna travel?
Well, definitely down to Dublin a bit more. You know, see my parents. So we went down at Christmas. Just the last day we could travel was Stephen's Day, so we ran down with the kids and hung around there. Didn't go anywhere, just stayed with the folks for a couple of days. But yeah, definitely we'll probably stay a lot in Ireland. But Claire has some family in London, and we haven't seen them in a while either. So they've got four cousins over there now. So they're always on Zoom calls with them and playing games on Zoom. But you can't beat the face to face. So we'll probably go to London, I'd imagine. I want to go over and see Stephen as well in California. So you never know, we might swing by Texas on the way.
Excellent. So vaccinations, anybody talking about that over there? Is it moving along? Or?
Yeah, we have the Pfizer vaccine. I think they've approved a couple of the other ones. Maybe the Modena, is it Modena?
Yeah.
Vaccine been approved now, so they're going to start rolling that out. So I think they've done about 50,000 so far. You know, which is I don't know what that's equivalent to in the States, a couple of million, but it's definitely, we're getting there anyway. We're starting. I think they're going to ramp up to about 100,000 a week, something like that. So they're going to start vaccinating. I think they reckon by the end of the year they'll have most people who want to be vaccinated will be vaccinated.
Yeah. Chad, Eric, did you guys fill out that thing?
Yeah, that Mike sent. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we got it. Sorry, Eric.
Yes, I did.
Good. I'm in the mood to write somebody up. So, yeah. So we sent off yesterday. Mike McAloon sent us links to this. I was just going to wait until somebody knocked on the door and said, "You're gonna need all stuff," you know. But Mike sent us this link and said that he's already been vaccinated, and yeah, it's just we were floored. So we signed up yesterday for I don't know, maybe Chad, maybe we put that in the links so they get the you know.
Yeah, I got notifications from my doctors too, or at least who was it who sent me that?
Your psychiatrist.
There's a couple of different places I got notifications about it now. It's like, hey, it's coming. So contact us when you're ready or whatever. But I was generally just surprised. It seems like the rollout is happening a lot faster than people were expecting, which is great for us. So yeah.
Thanks to your great president who did such a great job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it is due.
Yeah.
But the
next.
free over there as well.
What's that?
Is the vaccine free?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it over there?
Yeah, it's free, and all the tests are free, and if you have to take time off work, you get paid as well. So, it's all. I think like we've done pretty well. We have, and I know we're going to pay for it for the next few years with taxes, but definitely things are okay. We have a lot of multinationals, a lot of American multinationals over here, and they've all kept going. And a lot of big pharma companies and medical device companies, and all the high tech companies as well. We've got Googles and Facebooks here. So they've all kept going, which is it's kind of saved us because our second economy, the pubs and restaurants, have gone. So.
Yeah, it's miserable. I hate reading I hate reading all the posts about being stuck at home and just nowhere to go, nothing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, the death is the worst, but this is a very close second.
Yeah. And we were lucky. We're lucky here. There's very few cases in the west of Ireland, so we have felt pretty safe now. There's been a huge surge, even in work. I think we had my normal work, day-to-day work was. I think we had about 10 cases the whole year in 1,000 people, and over Christmas that's doubled. So we've had the last couple of weeks it's just a big surge. So it's over in the West now, and it's this new strain that came over from the UK seems to be a lot more transmissible.
Yeah, that's just arrived here too. I saw in the news, I think yesterday, first confirmed.
Yeah, day before yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been the original virus has been flaring up here in Houston the past month or so. Just the more people we know, it feels like the walls are closing in. You know.
Yeah, and we when it arrived here in March, we had good weather, and so people were out and about. But now, when you're freezing cold and everyone's inside socializing, even if you're socializing with a small bubble or whatever, it's much easier to transmit. So I think that's what. And Christmas is just a terrible time.
Yeah,
everybody to see their family and friends. So, and it's just, we all knew people were off work, people were going to be meeting each other and doing stuff. So.
Yeah, you can't stop that. Well, we did, but I mean,
I personally blame Santa, but
yeah,
we visited all these houses, and all of a sudden, big surge.
Yeah,
well, okay.
I put two and two together. I think definitely has a case to answer.
Yeah,
you can't blame the guy. He only comes once a year.
Yeah.
I don't even know how Eric knows that. He's never visited Eric's house.
I was just thinking we need some kind of sound effect for Eric's jokes. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You'll have it by the end. It'll come to you. COME.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
So bad. So Mark, what are you listening to these days besides Blaggards? What are you?
I've worn out my standard CD. I was just saying during the week, we need something new.
Coming
with a COMING. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. There you go. I like it. Eric, pipe up.
I'm trying to find my sound effect.
That's good.
I look at my Spotify. Just I'm kind of pretty bad. I've been listening to all sorts of things. Stevie Wonder.
Never heard of him.
No.
I can't see why you'd like Stevie Wonder.
Hey.
Oh, Greta Van Fleet, another recent favorite. Do you know them?
Is she any good?
They're I assume you've heard of them. They're Led Zeppelin wannabes. I got back into a bit of Motley Crue, Tesla, people like that.
The 80s rock.
I got to see Tesla actually and meet them when I was in Paris a few years ago. So they were playing, and I went to buy tickets, and they had VIP tickets for sale. Now they were stupid price. I think they were like $250 or something for a VIP ticket, but I was feeling very flush, so I bought two for me and my girlfriend, my wife now, and she hadn't got a clue who they were, so I had to do a quick, because it was in 2 days' time, so I had to do a quick Tesla download to her and tell her, like, if they ask you your favorite song or album, this is the one you tell them. And we got to hang around with them the whole day, and then they played a song for us at the gig and things like that. I have a picture of Jeff Keith, I think it is.
Yeah, I met Troy Lucetta a couple of years ago. There he is. Look at that guy.
That's a picture. I was nearly on top of them on the stage taking photos.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Mark, nice. You're quite a photographer too.
I haven't taken many now since the kids are born, apart from on the phone, but I must buy a decent camera now and try to start getting back into it now that the kids are a bit older. Yeah,
you did some great work. You're a great artist in school as well. Do you ever draw anymore?
No, but that's another thing. Just I had my kids too late, all my time. I should be retired now. I should be getting ready to relax, sit down, take out the easel, do a few pictures.
Guilty, yeah.
But the kids are just going to keep me going for another 10 years or so.
Lovely. So, Eric, who's on your iPod right now?
Oh, I actually, this is not really much of a stretch, but I had one of my kids' lessons yesterday, and he wanted to learn how to play Surrender by Cheap Trick. So I had to pull that up. That's always a good one. Mm-hmm. The new Matthew Sweet record's coming out, so I had to download 2 of the songs off of that. That's always good. A good song. It's just him and the drummer. He's actually playing his own guitar solos, which is kind of crazy for him. So. And, just got the regular shit on there. I got the Elvis Costello and the Bad Religion and a bunch of Tiki songs, a bunch of Martin Denny and Tito Puente and all kinds of crazy crap.
Excellent.
I got my Spotify roundup of the year. They send you an email saying your favorite songs and what you've been listening to all year. And because my kids play around with my Spotify, Justin Timberlake is my favorite artist of the year. So.
Congratulations.
Eric's
going to take another shower.
I'll just I haven't taken one yet. I'll just take an extra long one.
There you go.
Extra hot, long shower.
Yours.
I had to think for a
David
second.
Bowie. Yeah. David Byrne.
Yeah. Always a safe bet. Well, Bowie more than Byrne lately. We were talking about Tony Visconti's remix of the Space Oddity album. Was last week.
That's right.
So that got me thinking about it. So I went back to been listening to that again, and something reminded me of Gary Newman recently. So I've been listening to his album. What is it? Pleasure Principle, the one that has cars on it, and reading about that rhythm, the band that he had on that album, who were really great. The drummer who died, I didn't even know he passed away. It was a few years ago. Cedric Sharpley. You ever heard of him from South Africa? No?
What's his name?
Cedric Sharpley was the drummer for Gary Newman for a long time. Really great drummer.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's I never really thought about that, but
look where I got him.
That's it. Yeah. That
look where I got him.
The early electronica stuff. Well, I think one of the things that makes Gary Newman's stuff so catchy, or so groovy there early on, is that he had a real band. It wasn't just the synthesizers and stuff, it was real music, and his rhythm section was great.
I've asked you this before. Did you ever hear of Ian Jury? You guys ever? I know you did, Mark. Hit me with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. I'm racking my brain to try to remember what he's connected to.
He did with the big hits, but maybe that would have been over here as Wake Up and Make Love to Me, and the other one is Hit Me With the Rhythm Stick. And he did a few. It was kind of this, had this ska thing, and it reminded me of it with the Gary Newman. I just bought at Cactus Records here in Houston, Texas. Just bought this double live, a double, best of. And it's some of his stuff. It gets kind of repetitive. The check it, check that kind of stuff. The lyrics are very clever. But there you go.
Yeah. Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. That's another one.
That's the one. That's the big hit.
I think the words in that song, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. I don't think he says anything else in it.
Yeah.
He's got an E next to every song, so it can't be all bad.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. It's good stuff. I mean, I'd like you guys to hear it too. I've been listening to, I don't know where, well, I've always loved Huey Lewis and the News, but I listened to they did a covers record, 4 chords and a couple of years ago or something like that. But it's brilliant. It's just a bunch of these old rock and roll tunes, and they're really well done. Great harmonies, great. I love that rhythm section.
I went to see Hey See Dixie. Hey See Dixie, they do the bluegrass. I went to see them just before lockdown. They were in Ireland, but they started off obviously AC/DC and rock covers, bluegrass style, but they've got into 80s kind of pop music now, and they do that bluegrass style, and that was a pretty good gig. That was cool, and we got to meet the band afterwards as well.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of them. That looked fun.
Yeah, that was good crack. And then they locked everything down the week after, so we just got to our last gig. I think it was early March.
Yeah, Cheap Trick is Eric's go-to, and of course Beatles, Bowie, Bananarama, Chads, and maybe the last one's wrong, but the music scene never changed for me because I never go seeking out new music, so I don't know any of the new stuff.
A study's been done that people stop listening to new music at the age of about 27 anyway.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's incredibly accurate. I think about it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Eric teaches drums. So Eric, do you get a lot of that new stuff? Do you get a lot of that new band stuff? Do kids want to hear or learn how to play this new stuff, radio friendly stuff, or?
Not really. Because since they're so beginners, and actually I have 2 adults and 3 or 4 kids, and my newest student only wants to play is jazz. So we're going back to like Max Roach and back to the 40s and 50s with jazz stuff, which is totally fine. I'm happy to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. But like my other kid who's 10, he wanted to, his mom wanted a list of songs for him to learn over the holiday break. So I sent her Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, Surrender, and I think I tried to find an AC/DC song that wasn't too, not suburban mom, unfriendly. And he really wanted to, she texted me and said he really wants to learn how to play Surrender. So that's great. So, but as far as like learning new stuff, no one has really, I'm happy to teach them, but the new stuff is still just drumming wise. It's the old stuff. I mean, it's the same beats. It's nothing that's crazy new invented for drum wise, unless it's something like Mastodon or Meshuggah or something crazy like that. Then that's a whole other thing. But
Mark, why did you pick drums
Mark, why'd you pick the drums, Mark?
I don't know, because I couldn't play anything else. Maybe I don't know. And it's something I can play in the car and just play when I'm in meetings. So I always have the drumsticks playing on my lap, the whole time. No, I still haven't learned how to play drums. I'm just kind of fiddling around.
No, he's pro.
We have Wii Rockstar, and that's as much. I think I've got up to level 2 on that or something. And there's probably like 72 levels. So no, I'm no good. It's a pastime.
We'll say just make sure when you're driving in the car that you don't really use the pedals as your kick drum and your hi-hat, because that's how traffic accidents happen.
I know.
Tap all you want to. That's fair. That's fair game.
Yeah, when you're on cruise control
there you go.
It's the only time you can use the foot pedal.
Yeah. So Mark, you're if you look down the road, you see a friend of ours named Ricky. He's the drummer of the Saw Doctors. We had him on last week. He surprised the shit out of me. We were talking about, I just thought that he was a lifer as far as drums go. And he goes, no, I've been, acting. He's acting and writing now and doing stuff like, which he's brilliant at. I've seen a couple of clips, but it just floored me. It was like if Eric, phoned us up tomorrow, or Chad phoned us up tomorrow and said, I think I'm going into hairdressing. We'd be, what? It just floored me. But you obviously we've known each other since we were babbies. But I always thought, because your art, just for everybody else's knowledge, Mark was a brilliant artist, really gifted. And I thought and of course, you were doing the photography and the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And you were doing but I always knew you'd be stuck in art somewhere. You always knew.
I did want to go into advertising possibly. And then when I did an aptitude test after school, they said, no, you need to go into engineering. So I went into engineering, and it kind of suited me, and it was always, career-wise, I kind of got stuck into it. So you kind of you go down a path, and you really see, where you want to go. So I stuck with engineering for a long time. And I've had a number of different kind of careers in IT engineering, electronic engineering, automation, and now I'm in pharmaceutical validation, medical device validation, things like that. So, I've stuck with the engineering. It's always been a hobby to do a bit of photography or something, Or actually, I like, messing around with Photoshop and things like that. So a little bit of art, but yeah, I don't do any. I did a little bit of drawing with the kids, but nothing serious. My mother is she's seriously into art now.
She's brilliant.
The Dublin Art Society for a couple of years, and she's selling art the whole time. So she got into art back in her when we all grew up and left school or left home. So it was in her mid 40s, whatever, and now she's been at it for a few 20 years or so.
Can you send us a link to that, Mark? Can you send her stuff? Because I'd love to. I forgot about that. Last time I was home, I stopped in to see them. The last time that I was there on my own, not on the tour, but I stopped in to see them and I saw her work. It's just breathtaking. It really is just so beautiful. She got such a knack for it. I'd love to post a link to it just to.
Yeah, she doesn't have her own website, but she does have stuff on the Dublin Art Society webpage. I'll put that up. They did a virtual gallery or virtual show there recently, and she sold a couple of pieces.
Nice one, Chad. What did you keep from high school? What did you keep? Obviously, you kept your art and you kept your music, and you've always been into writing and whatnot. What did you? What was the thing that surprised you that you kept now that you're an old man?
Oh, I don't know about surprising, but I saved everything. I mean, all my notebooks. I kept journals and notebooks back then, and I have all those. Most of them. Anyway.
What are you still passionate about? What are you still into right now that you might be surprised that you kept?
That's not music, I guess. Obviously, it's not surprising. I don't know. My tastes really haven't changed much, or my interests. Yeah. That's when it was all kind of coalescing for me when I was 16, 17 years old.
Eric, what did you keep that you're surprised that you kept from childhood?
My boyish good looks.
That's coming again.
Nothing. Actually, I didn't keep anything from high school. I jettisoned everything after high school, and then I actually jettisoned a lot of stuff after college too. Because for me, it's not about. I mean, I have the past up here. I don't need to carry it around with me so much, Yeah. So I think the oldest thing I have that I own is I have an actual, and I'll show it to you all sometime. I'll dig it out of the closet. I have the T-shirt from the very first band I was in, and that's like the only thing that I think I have. I might have a business card from one of my college bands somewhere in a box that probably needs to be gone through and thrown away. But really, I'm looking around. I have a dictionary over there that was given to me from when I graduated high school. But I really don't keep a lot of that stuff. I like to always think about what's the next thing, what's the newest thing I want to get into. Music-wise, obviously, my tastes kind of linger to back then, but that's why I still have all the Dio era Black Sabbath stuff, because that's the stuff that I grew up on, really. So, and I actually been finding on YouTube, I've been finding a bunch of board mixes from live shows that somehow are getting released of Aussie Black Sabbath stuff, and it actually sounds pretty good. I mean, they actually sound like they know what they're doing,
Actually, do you show the guys the Aussie pictures from the gig we went to?
No, I forgot to.
We've spent ages doing a poster for the Aussie gig. I think I have that picture somewhere. I must.
The banner.
The banner, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I got some fantastic photos from the Aussie gig.
Yeah, that was Jake Ely, right? Was that the Ultimate Sin tour?
Yeah. Jake Ely and I can't
dead
remember.
Guy. Eric, who was the guy that wasn't dead then but is dead now?
Randy Castillo.
Castillo, yeah, brilliant drummer. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was really good. Yeah, that was a shock when he passed away. That was shocking to hear that news.
Yeah, his drum solo was as creative and as exciting to watch and to hear as anybody's I've ever heard or seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that coming out from behind the kit and playing everything, every stand, every bolt, just brilliant.
I think on that tour, it was Ozzy was up to at least 4 lines backstage, so he had to time it out just right, like Ash was talking about doing that drum solo for the tea break. So I'm joking, of course. I don't know what Ozzy was going on. And one thing I did think about just a second ago, one thing that Chad mentioned that I did actually keep from my youth was like any sort of, not any, but especially from college, a lot of flyers or articles or writes about the band that I was in that was doing something. Or actually, I have a huge collection of set lists from different bands throughout the year of just like, I got a bunch of John Doe handwritten set lists and stuff like that. Stuff from me and my buddy Brent used to do back in like 92, like where he would actually draw pictures, like instead of drawing out the words of the title of the song, he would draw a picture of like something going on that has to do with the song. It's crazy stuff like that. So
that's interesting. Yeah.
So that kind of shit I do kind of, or my parents would be like, oh, I saw this article about you. I clipped it out of the newspaper or whatever, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Bring in some of those photos sometime for one of their future shows. Be interesting.
I'll dig out my folder and just kind of run down Amnesia Lane with it and figure out what was funny and what was not. Okay, what you got for us, Mark?
I found this.
Whoa! That was your nose hair?
Yeah.
Wow.
It smells good.
If you don't look good, we don't look good. I remember.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have one of those too that I gave it to my mom. She's got it hanging up somewhere. It's not as long as yours. So.
I have 2, but they're under my arms currently. I can't show them.
I have one, but I'm sitting on it currently, so we'll have to wait on that.
Can I see it now?
Boing.
Yeah.
I need to have a soundboard for the sound effects.
Yeah.
I need the shitty morning DJs that have all those shitty sound effects. You
have the one from the old cartoons with it. Sound effect when somebody kind of.
I should just carry a slide whistle with me. That would be the easiest.
There you go.
And the nun said, "Pass the avocado."
Mother Superior said, "Lights out at 10, candles out at 11." Whoa!
Our poster. We're on our way to Ozzy.
Wow!
Oh,
Barry.
So that's you and Barry and
that looks like is that someone from Motley Crue? I think.
No. We were straight back then. Wow, I forgot about that. But yeah, remember. Now you have to remember too. So this is the 80s, right? And we'd get put on all the gear, and we had to get from our homes into the city center dressed like that. And you had to, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was out for a run, and somebody came by on a bicycle, and they had a stereo system on their bicycle. I'll repeat that again for the old people. They had a stereo system on their bicycle that was louder than some of the PAs that we've had at clubs, So they and they got this dance beat going, and it's not even it's a dance beat like think of a mosquito that just did 2 lines of cocaine. It was just 138,000 beats per minute, and a ton of bass. And they go back now in Ireland. Back in the day, we would have got stoned for that, and stoned. The
bad stoned.
That meal was good enough for Jehovah stoned. So we had to make it to the city center dressed as essentially Muppets, Muppets with denim and leather and bullet belts and studs and shit all over jeans. It's just amazing. It's amazing that we're here today. Can we just take a moment and thank the Dark Lord for our,
Yeah, most of our school, our mates liked ska and pop music. We were the only 1 or 2 who were into rock music at all. Yeah,
I mean, Mark, you'll back me up on this. If you walked through the city center, if you walked through the wrong parts of the of town dressed like that, you just get your head kicked in. Correct?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's not even the case of expressing yourself, which to me, to this very day, what are we, 2000, are we at the year 2000 yet? There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Even expressing yourself sounds like you're looking for somebody to punch you. I'll explain. It was such a faux pas, or you just didn't do it. I mean, you don't dress the way that you wanted to dress, or listen to the music you wanted to, or at least wear it on your sleeve. You just didn't do that. You got smacked. And I was thinking about that yesterday. A guy went down, and because the bicycle stereo, old people, bicycle stereo was so loud, I thought about hitting it myself. But that's just because it just sounded so bad. And it's on a bicycle in daylight, and he's got his that was strange to me, you know. And then Mark, when you said that too, we'd done it once in school. I remember when we I think it was the first time I ever played on stage. I don't think I ever even knew what we were doing, but we played at the Compo. We played at the
I retired after that one. That was an 800-person gig. That was a big one.
First show ever.
Sold out.
Sold out, yeah. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Chad, cut paste.
It was mandatory for everyone to attend. It was during school hours, so everyone had to go.
Oh.
You went out on top?
I think I even threw my drum kit into the crowd.
Rock!
It was the school's drum set, but that's okay.
What did y'all play at the gig?
Chuck Berry, wasn't it? Rock Around the Clock.
Wrong on both counts.
Was it? Or what was it?
House of the Rising Sun.
No. It was, no. It was Chuck Berry, rock and roll something.
Well, Rock Around the Clock was Bill Haley. But it also, it just dawned on me this moment, and it should have dawned on me a long time ago. But Mark, you were responsible for my first time ever singing. Do you remember that?
I remember telling you you should sing, but I don't remember being responsible for it.
Did you hear that, Eric? Did you hear that, Chad? He said I should.
So we have Mark to blame.
Yeah. I remember I used to scream Iron Maiden songs all the time, and I said you should really get into a band and sing, but I don't think I was responsible for it. I thought you started playing guitar before that. All right. Well, let me just blow your mind. So again, this just I should have. Anyway, your uncle Greg was starting a band, and he called you and said, "Do you know anybody?" And you said, "Yeah." And I know a hairy fucker that will come in. So I get a phone call from Mark, and I travel into I forget the studios in just off O'Connell Street. Anyway, that might come to me or might not. Maybe Lane Studios, something like that. Something like that, yeah. And so your uncle Greg was there with his Explorer, his blue Explorer, if I'm not mistaken. And I went in, and there was a bunch of lads who I could never. I have no recollection. Names, what they look like, anything, but I do remember there was a drum kit with a double kick drum, which I hadn't seen before. I've seen, never been able to. So when we'd go see Winter's Rain in Dublin, we saw one there. But anyway, because of you, I went in and I sang. I think it was "Dancing in the Moonlight" by Thin Lizzy, and maybe another Thin Lizzy song. But that was my first time ever even seeing a microphone up, that was on, so anyways, so I sang with them, and they had a meeting and then said, right, you're in. Well, by the time I got home, well, of course he didn't tell me that day, but apparently by the time I got home, the band broke up. And Greg called me the next day, and he told me about the band that he was getting together with. So I went over to his house. And he showed me some of the songs that he was working on, and he knew I liked Iron Maiden, so he wrote all these songs that were just essentially, like throwaway riffs that Iron Maiden would have written and chucked away, and then written the real song. So he did all these bastard versions of these Iron Maiden songs. And goes, yeah, so we were in a band for a minute, Greg and I. I thought it was a couple of weeks. I seem to remember you having a bit of a falling out. It was a very rocky relationship. With Greg? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a complete scumbag.
But then I saw him again at your your thing in the country, we'll call it, and and I tell the story, and it was again, if you're in the mood, if you're hopefully on the clock watching this, look up Father Ted, and just look it up on YouTube and watch some of it. It was probably the top. And again, I wasn't at home for it, but it was Mark. Was it the top comedy show?
No, it was huge. It's still huge.
Oh, it is big. Okay. Anyway, so Father Ted was this Dermot Morgan. He played a priest, and it was of course the Irish hated it because it was making fun of the Catholic Church and all. But very funny and very well done. But at your thing in the country, we'll call it, Mark. There was a little trio in the corner. It hired this beautiful little, or maybe it might have been a quartet. I can't count, but they were playing this beautiful piece of classical music, and one of them hit a wrong note, and Greg was sitting in the pew in front of me, and he goes at the top of the songs, and the church just burst into laughter. I mean, so it's bad enough that you're sitting in a fucking church and even if you burp, it sounds good because it's so clear and it's so the sound is so reflective, and it's poor little thing. She hit a wrong note. Greg goes, and the whole place lights up. I'm just because you're in a church.
Yeah.
Every pew is shaking because we're trying to hold back, but you know what's going on.
As far as I remember, it was more than one note. I think she was completely off.
That reminds Chad. That reminds us of the piper that played before Timmy. Remember Anyway, we'll come back to that. So it may have been more. I just recall the one because I just, like I said, I might have blacked out. I was laughing or trying to just trying to mute myself. So so just about the time snot's gone, tears are somewhat ceasing to run all over the front of myself. This gray salt and pepper haired gentleman came up, and he was coming into he was going into the same pew as Greg, and he goes, Ted, and it's reference to the Father Ted thing. And of course I go off again, and I'm the only fucker that heard it in the church. So now I'm oh God, I don't know if I ever laughed that much. And ladies and gentlemen, I shower alone most of the time, and I've never laughed as much as I did in that moment in that church on that fucking day. And so
my Uncle Neil is the spitting image of the actor who plays Father Ted.
That's who it was. Ted. Oh my God, yes. That's who it was. Oh, me, I'm lucky to be alive. What a fucking day. And I'm going to tell you too, it was the picturesque day. It was, just, you couldn't have got a better, and it was, again, you talk about Westport being beautiful. This beautiful little church on this beautiful little country road in the in the countryside in Ireland, and on just a stunning day, and then that motherfucker goes. So I don't know if I'll ever forgive him, but that was as much as I've ever laughed in my entire days. That was brilliant.
Remember, you got up on stage and did a number as well.
Yes, I did. What was the name of the castle?
The Waterboy Kennedy Castle.
Kennedy Castle, yes. Fisherman's Blues.
Waterboy. Yeah, great song.
This is a story we've never heard before on the show. You actually played Fisherman's Blues before you came?
No. This was I was visiting. I went for Mark's
2001.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just got up and sang, but again, that was my good friend Mark had said, "Yeah, go up there, or I'll kill you." And I said, "Yes, sir." I remember your dad, Tommy, wearing my jacket too, my snakeskin jacket. He looked better in it than I did. Give me that fucker, man. I still cannot believe that this is how. I told the story on another SlapperCast years ago. My next door neighbor at the time, Jimmy Shields, who is another fantastic drummer. His brother is the main guy for My Bloody Valentine, Kevin Shields. And Anne-Marie Shields, who is a wizard in the music marketing, she was actually responsible for the rise of, she was the mastermind behind their media campaign back in the day, and she got them to where they got to. She's phenomenal. Anyway, so Jimmy and I, our first, we went to see the Wolf Tones in the Glen Eagle Hotel in Kerry, and he and I jump up and they say tiny at the time. We were about that big, standing on each other's shoulders, maybe that big. And we got up on the stage and we mimed. They left the gear. The Wolf Tones left their gear on the stage, and they were playing all the rock and roll numbers and on the break. The lads are going to have a couple of pints, and everybody come back. So Jimmy and I get up on the stage and grab banjo or guitar or whatever, and we're miming these rock and roll numbers on the stage, and the crowd went crazy. And that was when I was like, hey, we try that again. So, but it was Mark. It was you called me up, and it was a school night too. I had to convince the Alwyn that I was going to get on the train, go into town, and sing with these guys. So there it is, Mark Kavanagh. Thank you.
And do you remember the name of his band? Was it, because he had a few, he had State Street, he had Emerald, he had Kruger.
Kruger might have been the one.
Yeah. I did the logo for Kruger. I was very proud of that. Very similar to Van Halen.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
To me when I was doing the logo. Lots of lines and, street. But it was good. He had some great singers. He had a fantastic... this was a way of attracting great musicians. He got some fantastic people to play with him, but they didn't play with him for very long. He had a knack of pissing people off, I think.
Well, we all know bands that don't really take care of their band members, as far as and he was kind of notorious for me and you.
Yeah.
Good times. I remember we went to a lot of gigs in the SFX.
Yes.
Did you go to that Whitesnake gig?
I did not.
Oh, the Whitesnake gig. I remember one of my first gigs in the SFX. It was a big enough hall, but so small by their standards. And the power went in the middle of the show. All the lights went and the sound went. And David Coverdale kept singing on his own, and you could hear him above the crowd. He was just amazing. It was just unbelievable.
We were just talking about David Coverdale and how brilliant a voice he has. It's just it's not human what that guy. And that was one of the things. I never wanted to like Whitesnake because I thought that they were one in that. Again, no offense, Mark, but in that Motley Crue camp to me. But not so. That guy is a great singer.
There's nothing wrong with Motley Crue either.
Yeah. I'll let you guys figure this shit out, but amongst yourselves, you guys figure this out.
No, there's nothing. Now, I'm not a Vince Neil nor a Nikki Sixx fan. Eric, what was your first gig? What was your first time playing in front of people?
Well, if you don't count like school-related functions, like the school band or the school choir, shit like that, I think it really was my little rock band I had. I think I was in 8th grade. And my brother and the rest of the band were all in 10th grade. And so I had joined the band because the guitar player's brother was older, and he had graduated and gone off to join the army. So I went and joined the band. I think it was the middle school dance. We played Van Halen and Quiet Riot and Black Sabbath. And
what was the first song of the night?
The first song of the night was "Turn Me Loose" by Loverboy. And what we had done, my brother was playing the doo 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 that bass part, and we had a light shine on him. So it'd be like doo 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 do 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 do. We thought we were badass. We had somebody just turn the light switch on and off, on this homemade box of like light switches that we had made. So that was a good start.
Wow! And after that show, good or bad? I mean, was it good, well received?
Yeah, it was fine. We thought we were rock stars for the day.
Well, that's so it was more than a success. Yeah.
Yeah. I had 3 rototoms and a bunch of toms and all these drums and 1 cymbal. Because I didn't have any money who had money for cymbals back then, Yeah. All these secondhand drums and all this stuff, and just like 1 crash cymbal. So
Chad,
it all worked out.
Where was it?
The very first time I performed was by myself at high school for a school function. was it Media Fair or something? It was one of the festival things that we used to have. And my band, Elemental Penguin, was supposed to play, but we just didn't have our shit together enough. So the guys pushed me to go up there and do a number by myself, which I did. And they chose what song I should play. It was an original I had written called Another Kind of Tragedy, which had lyrics from my friend Nathan Wallace. So, but I wrote the music for it. So that was the very first time I played. And there's somewhere there might be a videotape of that. I don't think I have it though. Crazy.
Ringo like me. What was the reaction?
It was great. I mean, it was really reaffirming for me at the time. I remember watching the tape of it later and just thinking how fast I was playing because I was so nervous. It was like going through it double time. But people were really, there was a nice audience. It was all my friends and their parents basically who were there sitting on the bleachers and stuff. And they were very quiet and paying attention and gave me big applause. So it was, it felt good.
If Mark wasn't here today, I would have told you a completely different story about my first show, but thanks a lot, Mark.
I never knew some of these stories you're all telling before.
All the teachers were delighted with us.
They were delighted that we didn't set it on fire or they were just, I think they were more relieved but still, yeah, great fun. And I saw Stephen McGuinness, who was also,
he played bass, yeah.
Yeah. And I saw him, Chad, what year was it we did the Noggin In?
2015 or 2014, one of those, right?
Yeah. Anyway, and Stephen told me this great story about this guy in Ballybrack, and this is what time does to you. So this is the story he told me. So there was a guy in Ballybrack where he lived, Ashlon. I want to say it was Ashlon Park in Ballybrack, and he went to this one neighbor of his was obsessed with Texas. He had never been, but he was obsessed with it. He'd say things like, you can get a hot dog for 25 cents in Texas. You can get, and they're, have you fucking ever been? And he goes, going tomorrow, go next week and go next year. So he told me this story, and it was a great story because it was so, it's so descriptive and so definite. And so, I mean, I had pictures of what this guy looked like. I had the J.R. Ewing picture, the poster. I had that pictured on the back of his door, and the cacti painted on the kitchen, and the cups with the who shot J.R., Texas stuff from the day. And so I met him at the Noggin In that time when we were just going over reminiscing and talking about different things. And I told him that story. I said, do you remember that guy in the Brack that used to talk about Texas all the time? And no, he had no recollection of it. And then something kind of jogged his memory a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as definite as what I had taken from his story. You know what I mean? So
I think Stephen was full of shit. He was actually. You remind me. I'm going to grab a book. And there's an entry on you in this.
Oh God. Anytime I get entered in a book, it's usually it's usually
the place blotter.
Yeah.
As I say, I never throw anything out. A to Z of famous people. I had this when someone bought this for me when I was about 14 or 15, so I started making my own entries, and I even have the index.
Oh my God!
So page 18, Pat Devlin. And I have, you reminded me there, at page 154, Stephen McGuinness. So do you want to read the entry on Pat Devlin?
Yes.
I don't know. Yes. I think we have. So Pat Devlin, there is my handwritten entry. So 1966 to whatever. Irish-American cool bastard and handsome stud. Reputed to have a 6-foot-long penis. Pat, this is 15-year-old humor. Yeah, Pat Devlin traveled the world, lassoing any woman who didn't believe him. It is believed that Pat is on the death list of many husbands and boyfriends. One irate husband once said, "If I catch that bugger, I'll hang him." But all you girls out there should know he's already. When the supply of good-looking females in Ireland ran out, Pat moved over to the States to continue his world conquest, which began at the age of 7 in the back of the school. when he was staying behind and trying to sneak into the girls' shower. He seduced his school mistress, who later had 3 children by him, reputed to be fathered thousands of children. Pat just shrugs and says, any bitch should be eternally grateful to have a kid of mine. So
that's awesome.
15-year-old rumor.
That's insane. But one of the things that I told Chad and Eric about you was your just bone dry sense of humor. Razor sharp, bone dry sense of humor. It was, and that's why I'm really looking forward to getting back over there this year. And Eric meeting, you get to meet Mark full or in the flesh. But just the quips. I remember because we weren't in every class together, but the classes that we took together were fucking hysterical. And I remember just years and years and years of laughter. Just Harkin's. I go to Harkin's Irish class.
Oh my God! Yeah. We had 3 different Irish classes. There was the honors class, and there was the kind of pass class. The people who are good at Irish would just barely pass, maybe. And then there was us in the lower than pass, and all the no hopers in Irish. Oh, we spent the whole time just pissing off the teacher, especially you, Patrick.
Yeah.
I think if we ever wanted to get out of learning, he was a real patriot. So you just have to mention something the English had done, and he would go off on a tangent and he would rant about the English for an hour.
Or if you just sing the first note of Sean South, or you sing the Men Behind the Wire, he would just take it. And what Mark's talking about is what Irish class was speaking Gaelic. And when, the Pogues have that record, Hell's Ditch, that's supposed to be the lowest point. Our Irish class was below that. So think of,
Yeah, I've heard this story before. That's a great story. It sounds like a skit.
Yeah. And one time, Mark can back me up on this. I think one of the times they moved our Irish, our class to a different part of the school, and our teacher, Mr. Harkin, was the last to find out. So it took him a while to locate where we were. So I decided in all my, with my great grasp on Gaelic, I would get up and teach the class using Mr. Harkin's voice, if you will. So I turned to the blackboard and I started to teach. Although my lesson was not very good, no fucker in the class told me that he'd come in and sat down and was seeking to take the class with us. And when I turned around at my big red face, he says to me, "Continue, Mr. Devlin." He says,
yeah. I remember that.
Lucky to be alive.
I think he's lucky to be alive. Jeez, I think close to he would go so red in the class, you expect a heart attack any second. He would just be bubbling over with rage for most of the class.
Was he bubbling over the rage over the students or the stories you got him to tell?
Oh yeah, basically because we were misbehaving. Plus, he never got to teach us anything, so he was always kind of bottom of the leaderboard in the school, the teacher rank.
Yeah, a friend of ours, a classmate of ours, Ashley Morrissey, lives here she lives in North Houston, and her first words out of her mouth when we met here, in Texas, she said, "Mr. Harkin, can you remember? We can remember the class. She and her sister Sandra were brilliant at Irish. I don't know what they were doing in there because they could say, "On Will Cadagum Dulamark hilarious." Oh, they knew that you're free, go. But no, they were. So she's here. I'm sure she sends her best too.
Yeah. We used to hang around with them. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Oh, stop. Yeah. That's brilliant. But so without robbing your whole night, your whole Friday night, I'm sure Claire has some cleaning she needs done or something. But
I hope the Strictly Come Dancing is finished now.
Do what?
Strictly Come Dancing, you probably get Dancing with the Stars. I think you get that over there in the US, but that's the Friday night show. So luckily enough, I missed that.
Oh, you're welcome. That sounds awful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's all right. If obviously you can't complain about good-looking, very fit women dancing. So, but it is
like the Trophy Club.
Yeah, not as good as the Trophy Club, but yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, let's continue this. Let's get a date down for Flint, because I'd love to do just talk a little bit more about Catch My Carbon and see if there's some way we can tie in the tour to it.
Yeah, definitely. Flying a jet over here from the US burns a lot of carbon. Definitely.
That's what I've heard. We were gonna take the raft across, but. And
we're doing loads of stuff. We started now selling merchandise. This is our our recycled wooden frames. They're very, very complicated to make. 3 pieces of wood nailed together. Yeah, they're really complicated. It takes me ages. But we're selling them very cheap if you want to boast about your carbon capture.
That's nice.
We're expanding. I did a T-shirt up as well. I have a T-shirt here somewhere. We have.
Here we go.
There it is.
We're trying to outdo you. I made a beer label, a Catch My Carbon beer label.
Oh, there you go. So let's do that. Let's get Flint on, and we'll dive in a little bit more, and see what we can do, because I know you said you're going to get those certificates, because I want Blaggards to put a few trees in the ground until you get the certificates.
In about 20 years you can cut them down and make a guitar out of them.
Yeah.
We don't mind if you make furniture out of the wood, because at least it doesn't go back into the atmosphere. So something like a guitar or a decent piece of furniture.
Or a cross, Eric?
Well, then I have to burn it, and that's going to create more carbon emissions.
All I see is Chad's eyes going, edit.
I do want to put a burning cross on that one of these days, just to tell what I really think about it.
I love it.
There it is.
Marker. Yeah, let's do it.
I want the shirts to say "Got wood," and here's how you can get wood. You can contribute to this to these guys.
Hey?
Yeah, do you mind if we steal that one? That's fantastic.
Take it. It's free.
Eric's always giving wood and advice.
I'm a river to my people.
Yes.
That's what I was waiting for you to say.
Yeah. But let's do it again, and we'll tie it in, and we'll see what we can do, because I'd love to be a part of that, and it'd be certainly wonderful to spread the word. We'll get it posted across all our pages, but I'm serious about the breweries too. We can bring I think that'd be just phenomenal to bring the gang by, route the tour through wherever they are, and we'll do a few numbers there as well.
Yeah, I must check if they do any sort of tour. If they have I know they're still quite small, so I don't know if they're set up to do tours. They might be in the middle of an industrial estate in Finglas or somewhere like that.
Yeah. It's all right. We can do a flyover.
Yeah. We'll drive by the Guinness Brewery, around the back of the Guinness Brewery, and just pretend. Yeah.
Use your imagination, kids. Have a couple of recycled beers. I love it. Well, listen, Mark, thanks for your Friday night. Thank you for doing this, and just keep that going. That's brilliant. I've like I said from the very beginning, it's truly, it's obviously a labor of love, but it's a brilliant. I hope it, and I don't mean literally, but I hope it catches fire, and you just you can ditch the day jobs and do this full time. That's great work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's great chatting. Yeah, great reminiscing.
Yeah. I'm excited to spread. So all the best to Claire and the gang. Thank you for being here. Really.
Nope. Love to your family as well. All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah. Cheers.
Take it easy. Good night. All right. SlapperCast episode 102. Welcome. Oh, wait.
What just happened?
Thanks for listening, everybody. We hope to see you next week. And everybody stay safe and wash your damn hands. That goes for you too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. See you.
Yeah. Good night.
Okay. I'll stop it.